1-900 single, BlastWheel. So BlastWheel was based on a character that I had thought of, which was sort of analogous to kind of like Rocksteady or Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Where, sort of.
Wait a minute. I'm not a huge TMNT fan, but one was a boar and one was a turtle.
No, one was a boar guy, and then one was a rhinoceros.
Oh, it's a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had a lot of firepower and all kinds of cool stuff like that. And they were kind of stupid.
Yeah. They were like comedic.
Yeah.
I guess the whole thing was comedic.
That's kind of what I was thinking of BlastWheel. I had come up with a number of characters, similar to those types of minions. And BlastWheel was supposed to be pretty much a big 80s style rotary phone, but on tank treads and, anthropomorphic with some kind of face or something.
Yeah.
Or display screen with a face and just lots of firepower. So
we'll look at some images later, but for like the whole 1-900 universe, there's like a giant phone. Your whole overview was part of it.
Yeah, just a strange obsession with phones, I suppose, which I think is a metaphor for all the things about phones today, how they control our lives and everything. But just set in the 80s, the operator, of course, is a big cell phone, kind of anthropomorphic, where he can change size, so he can be small, but he can change into this big, gigantic cell phone with a scythe. And so a lot of the characters are based on phones or phone culture.
Electronics. Yeah.
So BlastWheel is supposed to be the big tank tread kind of bruiser with lots of firepower. He blasts missiles from the rotary of the phone. And that's where the song came from. It's a little bit heavier in terms of the vocals. I tried to do more like a kind of aggro metal or death metal kind of a vocal for part.
I don't even know what aggro metal is.
It's a stupid term, kind of from the 2000s. So,
okay.
Now, that's really it. I mean, the lyrical content is very sparse. A lot of times we just kind of sing the chorus.
Yeah, so it was a fun.
It has a certain amount to do with just all the spam calls that people get.
Okay.
So I just tried to work that a little bit into it. So that's where that came from. And in terms of it being a single, we wanted to release that before the Snareware EP, but that just kind of got turned around. So we ended up releasing the Snareware EP first, and then BlastWheel is now the latest. Just a single, so separate from the EP. Not having really much to do with Snareware itself.
Yeah, I mean, and we use the Snareware launch to kind of introduce the comic campaign.
Yep, absolutely. So,
all right. So you know what? So all right, let's hear it. And then you did the solo. Let's play the solo. Everybody likes the solo.
Cool. kind of worried about that solo because I feel like I hadn't recorded a solo in a while. So it's like I've read about other people who do composing and stuff, like film scores and stuff. It's like they always kind of have this panic, like they think they're just not going to be able to come up with anything anymore, when they sit down to do something. Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt doing this. It took me a little while to come up with something I was happy with. At first, I thought I was just kind of like wanking around. And
just for the solo, or are you talking about like writing tunes in general? Because you were kind of removed from it for a few months.
For this time, for the solo.
So, yeah.
We're trying to get back in the groove of cranking out music more frequently. So I'll probably feel that way when I sit down again to do the next song. Yeah. But that was for the solo for some reason. I was just like, I wasn't happy with what I was coming up with for like the first hour, and it eventually came together. But that's usually how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was a big break from when we recorded the tune to when you did the solo.
There was, yeah.
Like almost a year.
Seems so like it.
Yeah, so you had to get back into it and feel it and write it.
I started using different the updated version I use Amplitude for all the guitar tones. So I also was, trying to dial in some different tones from the tones that were on the Snareware EP. So
did you mix it the same way or what? Did you?
Yeah, well, I mean, mixing it, it's always a little different. I tend to have some parameters I stick with like volume levels and things, but every song is a little different. Mastering, I try to keep pretty similar because I'm not an expert at it. It's gotten a lot easier nowadays with the software because it probably has some kind of AI component or something that kind of helps you out. Yeah. So I use some different kind of audio profiles from different mixes and masters that I like from other bands. That kind of just gives me a starting point. So once I have the starting point, I'm cool.
Yeah, then you can modify it.
It's just I'm not like a mastering engineer. So if I did everything from scratch, like that's a little tough for me. But once I have a little sound, then I can tweak it and it comes out pretty good.
All right, cool. So and what we were talking about before, your vision.
Yeah, there it is.
Of what BlastWheel should look like. Now we did this. I think we did this a couple of years ago.
I think the character we were talking about.
Yeah. Just did the character. So we did that one.
Yeah, these were the clunky. So it's amazing how far the AI has come in just maybe like a year or so.
And our prompting has gotten better too.
Yeah, and these are some of the older ones, right?
Yeah, these are all the older ones.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I like the trying to do the combination. Not too bad.
It gives someone the idea anyway.
It gives them the idea.
That's a little closer because the phone has to be 80s. It's got to be like and even that looks like World War II era to me.
Yep. And what we settled on, which is much cooler. It doesn't have that 3D realistic look, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And this definitely speaks more to like what the comic book is. And this came out really good.
Yep, and that looks 80s.
The back.
So I like that a lot. It's it's good.
The calls you take, just another fake. Terminate them with BlastWheel. The calls they make.